I used to think that revivals were, well, about 2 seconds ago, I thought revivals were just garbage for the basic premise that, let's say you have the explosion of the Holy Spirit and power is being expressed and this and that, and everyone sees it and they're like, oh my God, God is real and yada, yada, yada. But then that's all you have is a group of people who have experienced the power of God, but doesn't know God, doesn't understand God, and doesn't pursue the knowledge of God. And so you get what happened like in the 70s and 80s, where everyone was a Christian, but no one had Christian ethics. They didn't understand anything about the Trinity and the doctrine and all this stuff. And why is that important is that that explains God. If there's a phenomenon, like a one-hit single, everyone loves the one-hit single. It's playing on the radio, it's playing in all the malls, it's playing everywhere. But no one knows who the artist is, no one knows what the song is about. And imagine if the song was actually something transformative, right? I don't know, 21 Pilots has a song called Next Semester. It's about trying to end your life, it not working out, and you being embarrassed about it. And then him just saying, hey man, you woke up today, it's a new day, it's a new time in your life, just move on. Like you can't change the past, but you have to move forward, you know? And so imagine a song like that and everyone's like, oh, this is so catchy, but it actually has some depth to it. It's something real, and no one gets that. And everyone misses out on that. And so what happens a lot in revivals is that they see the power of God and they have a faith in the supernatural, but that is a vague idea, right? It's seeing that the supernatural can happen, and it does happen, but not having a name and face to the power that belongs to those supernatural acts. It doesn't transfer, it doesn't convert to Christian living where Christian ethics starts to reign over culture. That's not what happens. In the history of all revivals, that's been the case. Unless it's like very niche, like a church had a revival that didn't necessarily impact culture entirely. There's these Irish and Scottish ones that will happen where they'll just pray every day for a couple hours and then all of a sudden they're hearing from God and this and that and people get healed. So there's stuff like that, like micro revivals in the church. But my point being that my mind kind of changed when I realized that if there is like an execution plan, like Blitzkrieg, you know, like Holy Spirit comes in, shows power, and then another group comes in to teach and to give foundation to and this and that, then it would be effective. Then we would have people, if you're not in a small group, if you don't know what a small group is, it's super important. It's basically, you know, you go to church, it's hundreds of people, you know, sometimes thousands, whatever it is. And these people, you know, you don't live life with them. They don't know you. There's an anonymity. There's all these things, but small groups is, you know, 5, 10, you know, 15 people. 15 is probably too much, but 5 to 10 people weekly that meet together, that go through the Bible together and live life together. And so these little pods become your accountability groups. They become your support groups. They become mentors, and you mentor them. And it's this thing that's like, it's very fruitful, and it becomes very real. And Christianity really takes its own life in that when you join a small group. And so it's really important. Whatever church you're in, you should join one. If you don't have one at your church, start one. It's so important. It's more than just going through the Bible. You know, there's devotionals or whatever, however you want to structure that. But it's just getting to the meat of things together. So give structure and foundation is my point. People will say like, oh, like denominations, like there should be one denomination and that's it. And I think these people are insecure in the sense that they think that everyone should like each other and love each other and agree and be on the same page about everything. And that's like such a child notion, right? That's just not realistic. Life, you're going to come across, majority of people you come across will not agree with you. Few people will not like you, but for sure, majority of people you won't have a lot in common with, right? And so like in ministry, in work, where whatever your setting is in school, like there are people that you like even. So there might not be a lot of people that you like, you enjoy, right? But in that group of people that you like, or, oh, that guy's cool and this and that, you might not have things in common to do. Then there's that small group of people that you enjoy hanging out with because you guys have a lot in common and their character suits you in a way that doesn't make you want to scratch out, you like pull out your hair or whatever the case is. So when we talk about doctrine and the subgroups that come out of that, which is what we're talking about. Words slip out of my brain, dude. What is it called? Denominations. Okay, denominations. When we talk about that, it makes perfect sense to have denominations. The only thing is having respect for other denominations and respect, whether you're a Christian or not. Like, I think everyone has been taught to respect everyone. That's just the basic way of living life, especially in a country, if you're in America, that has so many subcultures where nothing is homogenous. I'm not going to grow to my fullest potential if I'm not around like-minded people who have thought longer than I have in these things, right? If I'm Baptist and I believe in Baptist ideology, I should be around other Baptists. Me being in a Methodist church, hearing people preach, however different it is, it's not going to edify me whatsoever if my heart leans naturally to being Baptist or Southern Baptist or Presbyterian or whatever the case is. You have to follow the leaning of your heart. I don't think my brother minds. My brother is a little more charismatic than I am. And I have total respect for that. I did tell, I have my feelings about that and the dangers of that, but every church has its dangers, right? Yeah, I'm not going to say that I'm the complete opposite of my brother to not even to make a point. That's like the first thing we always go to is like, oh, we're different, so we're on completely opposite spectrums. That's not true. I lean a little, or I'm just a lot less, let's say, charismatic than he is, but I think showing emotion in a church and excitement for God is not anything crazy. But where the dangers become in Pentecostals and stuff like that is just the show that can happen. And oftentimes the generations that grow up in that, they can't replicate what their parents do. And so they, in terms of being genuine about it, and so they, fake it until they make it, kind of. But sometimes they don't ever make it. And there's shame in that and guilt and all this stuff. And if only they knew, right? Anyways. And so I can respect my brother completely, right? In his decisions and what church that he would want to go to and this and that. And the beauty about that is now if I find someone who leans that way, I know where to send him because I trust my brother and I know he reads, I know he prays, and I know he's trying the best he can to walk with God. It's all we can ever ask, right? There shouldn't be this thing where like, oh, we need to unify all Christians with our doctrine, but unify our Christians in terms of just respect and how we think of them, as equals. And that's how we unify each other, or unify ourselves together. It's through respect and holding a high regard for each other, even though our doctrine is different. Because we have to understand, it's like politics. How we grow up influences a lot our leanings, It influences how we see the world and therefore how we rationalize things. And so I think we need to work in tandem, being different, expressing our difference, as opposed to try to create this homogenous thing. I think that was it. I thought I had another thought about it. But yeah, revivals I thought were bad. They can be good if we work together. You talk about denominations, how they should be different, and that is okay if we have respect for each other. That's more than okay. It's perfect. Yeah, I think that's it.